I finally had the pleasure of picking up renowned indie platforming hit, A Hat in Time. Taking inspiration from games like Super Mario Sunshine, Zelda Wind Waker, and of course collectathons like Banjo-Kazooie, A Hat in Time is absolutely brimming with personality, charm, gags, and goofs, genuinely endearing characters, and is an adorably cute romp through its inviting worlds. On top of its stellar and focused presentation, however, is a good portion of near-flawless level design, helped by a variety of ways to approach each level due to an expansive moveset and a variety of abilities earned in the forms of hats and badges. Giving the player such an expansive toolkit to work with is the foundation that brings life to level design in a game like this. Super Mario Odyssey famously came through on the same front, vastly increasing Mario's capabilities and making the game an absolute joy to play as a result. Running around Hat Kid's room for no more than 5 minutes, jumping off walls, interacting with the scenery, watching the opening cutscene. I realized just how much pep and vigor there was compared to a certain other platformer revival. Yooka-Laylee was a Kickstarter-funded, spiritual successor to Rare's original Banjo-Kazooie games, developed by a new studio named Playtonic, which boasts a good handful of original development staff from those games. Supposed to substitute for the long-awaited sequel that never came, Yooka-Laylee had everybody excited, looking to break what some were calling the Kickstarter curse, after the catastrophic turnout of Keiji Inafune's Mighty No. 9.
Even if it's not perfect, it's better than nothing. At least that's my opinion.
Unfortunately, public perception of Yooka-Laylee hit a downward spiral on its release. Criticized for bland level designs, performance issues on the PC, a hugely delayed Switch port after the collapse of the promised Wii U stretch goal, a clunky character controller, and a general sentiment that Playtonic had simply recreated a game of the past rather than use any of the game design lessons learned over the past couple of decades to produce a better product. As for what camp I'm in, well, I have to be honest. Yooka-Laylee is a mediocre, meandering, charmless experience. If that sounds rough, it's because the game is rough. I realized how little I liked the game when trying to find my way through the game's convoluted hub map, hitting the entrance for each level as I walked past, realizing that I didn't like a single level. The only one I liked at all was the Ice World until I expanded it and now it's a nightmare like all the others. Whilst the game starts with some cute touches and a nicely designed tutorial area, the game starts to feel a lot more empty from the moment you start plugging through the first world. What's sorely lacking here is a through line, something to propel you through the level and have you hit the sights on the way there. A Hat in Time does this brilliantly. Worlds are divided into chapters, much like that found in Mario 64 or Sunshine, and even Galaxy. This helps to make the worlds you visit feel alive and part of a bigger plot, whereas Yooka just plops you into a level and expects you to make your own farm by just picking up things. Even in Banjo-Kazooie, music notes were placed with care and consideration. Even if they were a bit extraneous as a collectible, they were often a challenge to get to and placed in clusters to further reward tricky jumps and hidden nooks. The quills in Yooka-Laylee? Congratulations, you walked here. Congratulations, you walked there.
What do you mean there's 200 of these fucking things in every level?
Whilst Yooka-Laylee does technically have a progression curve to each world, it's very uninvolved and very minimal. There will be a boss hidden somewhere on each level, and there are minor tasks to complete for NPCs. Each world has items to buy too. The problem is that it's all disconnected from everyone else. The entire game pretty much boils down to fetch quests and treasure hunting through maps that are far too large for their own good. Even a lower budget title like Poi does a far better job making the adventure feel involved, and the world more fun to explore as a result. When I play A Hat in Time, I see a new world or a new portion of level and immediately think, "Oh, what's over there? What can I find?" In Yooka-Laylee, I dread the fact that there's still more busy work I haven't done on another barren piece of terrain. I love the original Banjo, but one of the things that worked for that game was the smaller but more diverse numbers of levels. Banjo-Tooie felt like a mistread, in making not only the hub world unnecessarily large and confusing, but nearly doubling the size of all the worlds. Yooka tries to bridge the gap between the two, and falls in the ravine while doing so. A Hat in Time sees the success of later games in time, and picks and chooses what to allude to with finesse, whilst remembering to build its own delightful characters and locations at the same time. It remembers to be different enough that it always feels fresh, whereas even when I'm having fun with Yooka-Laylee, it's underpinned by the memory of other games I'd honestly rather just play. So, there we have it. Playing at Hat in Time finally gave me the words I needed to express why I find Yooka-Laylee so stale and frustrating, by playing something from a similar time period that understands its own identity so much better, and takes lessons learned from the past decades to make itself a better product. I do have my fingers crossed for better things from Playtonic in the future though, as they are no doubt a collection of seasoned and talented people, but they need to take a leap and do something more adventurous if they want to reclaim their throne. Thank you guys so much for bearing with me through that little hiatus. In case you weren't aware, I did go to the big island of Hawaii recently for 3 months to visit my now fiancé. Yes, Dubious is engaged to Froggy, who you've probably seen before on the channel, doing streams with me, part of the fan game that was made for me. We will probably do a more detailed announcement later down the line, just talking about how it went down, well, what we did. Sorry it took me a while to get around to making another video, things have been kinda hectic. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little debites. I would, in case it wasn't obvious, I would super recommend checking out A Hat in Time. It's currently on sale on Humble Monthly for like the next couple of days, maybe one day. Please click the link in the description if you have any plans on buying it through my partner link. That would help me a lot. It is an amazing game, and right now $12 for that and 2 other games. That is the cheapest I've seen it up front ever. It's an amazing deal, and it's an amazing game. Really recommend it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for bearing with me. I've frozen the Patreon stuff for now. I don't really know what I'm gonna do with that, so I'm not taking any payments from that, so don't worry about that for a while. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you when I do the next video. Bye bye.